Welcome to Psychos and Sociopaths. My name's David Dickerman,
I'm Johnny Skelton.
and today we're going to talk about H. Holmes, who was a serial killer in during the
1860s through 1896.
during the World's Fair in Chicago area. What makes this guy really interesting? One, he did a lot of insurance scams to make a lot of the money, but it was his kill house or kill hotel that was very interesting
Right.
because the whole hotel was set up for murder.
Mm-hmm.
He had trap doors to get rid of the body. Some of the rooms had air vents and everything to put in gas, and his mode of killing was basically gas, and there was something else.
Burning.
Burning, yeah.
Yeah.
And he would do is he would take the body. Some of the times he would take the body, pour it in acid when he did that, and he would take the skeleton and sell it to universities and everything, make a profit.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy, he, you know, not to glorify it, but, I mean, the guy was really kind of ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like I mean, literally, yeah. I mean, he was ahead of his time because, I mean, he had this place built specifically for the purpose of doing A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Hidden passageways, fake walls, chambers. I mean, he had an oven. He had a gas chamber. Yeah, I mean, the guy, I don't want to say he was off his rocker. I mean, because the guy thought this stuff through. He was very methodical about it. You know, just like everybody else that we've profiled, he, I think, really got cocky, and that's why he got caught.
Yeah. And what's his? I can't even pronounce his name of this guy, because he was actually a physician. He graduated the University of Michigan's Department of Medicine and Surgery in 1884, and after he passed his exams and everything, he studied anatomy.
Yeah.
He I guess he just really liked the human body to the point to where he wanted to study it more. He was kind of like the Nazi doctor, Dr. Jeffscoffy. Here, let me put this in here. I'll send it to you because I can't pronounce it, and I'm horrible at pronouncing names and everything. You're better at it. There you go.
Joseph Mengele.
Yeah, he was known as the Angel of Death.
Mengele. Yeah,
And-
something like that. Joseph is how you pronounce his first name.
Yeah, he did that was just we'll go over him too one of these days. Probably the next one. That guy's actually really interesting. As, you know, a murder and everything. Other than that's about it. But, I mean, just the ingenuity of the hotel and everything that he had. I mean, he built the whole thing himself. I mean, it's that type of genius. Crazy genius type shit.
Yeah. He, from what I was able to see and able to read, I mean, the guy, he didn't seem off, like at all. I mean, literally, he kind of pressed himself into that stereotype of he was quiet.
Yeah.
The only thing that really, he would run insurance scams in medical school, selling cadavers or using cadavers to get life insurance policies.
Yeah.
When he was going through school, but yeah, over. But for the most part, though, it just really kind of seemed like he came from a farming family. I mean, his dad was a farming, father was from a farming family. At times he works as a farmer, trader, house painter. Parents were devout Methodists. They, I mean, later attempts to fit him into a pattern seen in modern serial killers have been described, or have described him torturing animals and suffering from abuse at the hands of a violent father. But eyewitness accounts of his childhood didn't provide proof of any of that. So they tried to take that modern mold and put him in there to try to, I guess, maybe put an explanation onto him, and they couldn't do it because the guy just didn't. He set him. Let me put it this way. He really set himself apart. Like, he set the bar.
Yeah.
And everybody else that's just kind of just falling into those footsteps, yes, they have their own uniqueness about them, but they don't hit that level. This guy was just evil. Yeah. And, I think a lot of it is, again, I think you nailed it, was just the overall curiosity of the human anatomy. And it really comes through with the things that he did, his MOs, just his proclivity to, burn, gas, and just the dissection part of it itself. I think with each murder, he learned more about the anatomy that he was able to apply towards his future murders. Because didn't they peg him with like a suspected as like maybe as 200 people?
Let me see here. So I don't have to go looking for it.
I mean, the guy, he spent a lot of time in small claims court.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's about 200 people.
Yeah, like 50 lawsuits or something like that in Chicago alone.
Yeah.
But he, just a con artist, and it says trigamist, but I mean, trigamist is just a fancy word for polygamy. Where, what is it? Polygamy is where the man, men commit polygamy, and what is it for the women? I think I saw that somewhere. It was like the female version. There's a different word for the female version of it, but he had his hands, kind of like in a lot of different jars, and
yeah. Well, even with his first murder, it was more or less. He was saying that she died during a botched abortion.
Yeah, I think that was a mistress that he had, and then when what was her name? Julia Smythe. She was the wife of a Ned Connor. She moved into his building and began working the pharmacy's jewelry counter. After the husband found out that about the affair, he quit his job and moved away. Left Smythe and her daughter Pearl behind. Smythe gained custody of Pearl and remained at the hotel, continuing her relationship with Holmes. And then they disappeared on Christmas Eve in 1891. So, I think that his little scientific spree, in his eyes, his scientific spree was a relatively short-lived one. I think over the span of it was
5 to 6 years.
5 years, something like that. Yeah. So I mean, he was pretty prolific as it relates to the frequency and the volume of the murders, and again,
I thought I keep on remembering either I'm remembering it wrong, or I think I'm remembering it wrong, but he had a co-conspirator.
Co-conspirator. He would have to just at that particular volume.
Because I'm reading it and remembering he had somebody with him that actually did all the carpentry work.
Mm-hmm.
Holmes designed everything, and this guy that basically he had a criminal past and everything like that, and he paid him, or he didn't pay him. That's the whole reason why he got it captured and arrested too. Or wasn't it for something else? There's some of this stuff on Comic Fake. I'm like really into the. I like learned a bunch of stuff because it comes up in a lot of time travel stuff.
Yeah.
TV shows and everything like that. Because if you're during the time frame of Chicago and the World's Fair, they always have that incident where they accidentally go into the kill hotel.
Yeah. What was that show? I remember seeing that show. It was like Timeless or something like that. They ended up there on accident or something. And yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But he was mainly prosecuted for arson.
Mm-hmm.
Then he left Chicago. He reappeared in Fort Worth, where he had inherited property from Williams' sister. Because okay. Man, I'm going back and forth on this.
Yeah.
Because it was the one-time actresses named Mindy Williams moved to Chicago.
Yeah, that was the woman that he swindled out of a property she had in Fort Worth, where after he left Chicago because he had insurance companies wanting to prosecute him, he took off, and he reappeared down there. And I know he had some dealings in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
He was arrested and briefly jailed there. He worked with one of the inmates and concocted this plan to swindle an insurance company out of $10,000 for, he took out a policy on himself and then faked his death. So I mean, he had a lot of aliases that he was operating under also. So there's just, this guy has literally a lot of layers to him. So he is the quintessential onion as far as serial murderers were concerned.
Yeah, even back in 2017, the amended allegations that Holmes had, in fact, escaped execution. Holmes' body was exhumed for testing, led by Janet Morgan of University of Phoenix Museum of Agriculture and Anthropology. Due to his coffin being containing semen, his body was found not to have to be decomposed normally. His clothing were almost perfectly preserved, and his mustache was found to be intact. The body positive was identified by his teeth as that of Holmes, and Holmes then reburied.
Yeah, I mean, and he asked for that type of a burial because he wanted his coffin encased in concrete and then buried 10 feet deep because he was worried that grave robbers were going to, steal his body and then dissect it. So he really didn't want that, the same treatment. He didn't want his corpse going through the same thing that he subjected his victims to.
Yeah.
And he didn't even, he didn't even hang him. He didn't even get hung properly. Like his neck didn't snap. He just sat there and strangled to death for about 15 minutes.
I bet there's a lot of people that was happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were, but, it's, what was it? It's, I forget what the standard is, but there was something about, because, like with the electric chair, if you survive 2 electrocutions in the chair, your sentence is basically commuted and you're set free.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the standard was with hanging.
Hanging's probably most of the time. I mean there's that phrase is hang him until he.
You will hang by the neck until dead. Yeah. So I mean maybe that's why they did it the way they did it, but because the electric chair didn't really come into fashion until like the 20s.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, so with hanging, because I know there was one state, was it Utah, that still had hanging as one of their means of execution, up until like 2000 or something like that. I want to say that was the case, because I know that there was like 1 or 2 states that still had, had a gallows. Albeit it was enclosed and it was a steel trap door as opposed to just like a wooden structure.
We are wrong. First time they used an electric chair was August 6th, 1890.
Ah, well, okay. I know they didn't become the main mode of execution until like the 20s or 30s.
I'm curious about the last hanging too. Dang, man, we're just all bounds of curiosity on this one. We'll just do U.S. Last hang. Wow. Wow. Last hanging was Billy Bailey, and it was the last criminal to be hanged in the United States in 1996.
I knew it was the 90s. I knew it was it Utah?
Uh, da- 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 da. It doesn't say.
Hmm. Well, but yeah, I mean, this dude, let me see here.
If you go to New Hampshire, you can still get hanged.
Oh, really?
As of 2020, hanging is a available secondary method of execution in the state of New Hampshire for people sentenced to death before 2019.
Hmm.
I keep on saying they need to bring that shit back to anyways.
Yeah, well, you know, just
Doing
like...
the town square.
Right. But human rights and all that other good crap. Thanks a lot, ACLU. Appreciate that. Benjamin Feitzel, I think is the associate that you were talking about, because he was the inmate that he collaborated with to scam the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And Holmes, I think, if I'm remembering right, because he didn't pay him, that's when he actually started talking to the police and everything about the murders. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, his murder spree finally ended when he was arrested in Boston on November 17th of 1894 after being tracked there from Philadelphia by the Pinkertons.
That's something you don't hear that much anymore about. I mean, they still have an office and everything, it's the Pinkertons, because they're a very high respected now security firm, they call them themselves now, but they still do like mark work too.
Yeah, he was held on an outstanding warrant for horse theft in Texas, which
You can still get hung.
you can still get hung in Texas for horse thievery.
Yeah.
I believe. But
Yeah, you can.
yeah, because as a matter of fact, we've got that cemetery over here on Seymour Highway. There is a double grave. There's two horse thieves, if I recall correctly. There's two horse thieves buried on top of each other for horse thievery, for horse theft, and they were hung and buried in the city cemetery.
You know what I was thinking is, I wonder, because all of his stuff that he did, I wonder if Hitler got a lot of this, got like knowledge of it, and that's how he thought to do that.
Well,
Do all of the stuff that he did.
I don't want to give the Germans props for the Holocaust, but they definitely the Germans are definitely guilty of over-engineering a lot of things, and so they would run their experiments, and I think that they knew, about the gas, ahead of time, because we're not too, World War II was not that far removed from World War One, and that's when chemical weapons were they were outlawed.
Oh, they changed it. It's just a 2 to 10 year prison sentence for her stuff.
Oh, can't get hung no more. Okay.
Different kind of hung.
Yeah. No, they make websites for that. Shame on you.
I know.
But I mean, just a lot of the stuff here. Upon his execution, his body was actually interred in an unmarked grave at the Holy Cross Cemetery. It's a Catholic cemetery in Philadelphia's western suburb of Eden. On New Year's Eve, 1909, there was a gentleman by the name of Hedgepeth who had been pardoned for informing on Holmes, was shot and killed by a police officer, Edward Jaburick, during a holdup at a Chicago saloon. Um, let me see here. Yeah, see the castle, the murder castle, um, gutted by fire mysteriously in August of 1895. According to a newspaper clipping from the New York Times, two men were seen entering the back of the building between 8 and 9 p.m. About a half an hour later, they were seen exiting the building and rapidly running away. Following several explosions, the castle went up in flames. Afterwards, investigators found a half-empty gas can underneath the back steps of the building. The building survived the fire and remained in use until it was torn down in 1938. The site is occupied by the Inglewood branch of the United States Postal Service. Let me see here.
I wonder if that place is haunted.
You know, I kind of wondered the same thing, but like, because you know how you can get into these philosophical discussions that if you replace a ship plank by plank, as long as it maintains the same original keel, it's still the same ship. So if the building was demolished and it was rebuilt,
Oh, it's like the whole building a house on a Indian burial ground. Like
yeah, but you're not excavating the burial ground. You're developing it. You level it and then you pour a concrete foundation, or you drill in for pier and beam. But I think that the foundation of the building, the murder castle itself, when it says it was demolished, I think that they took it all the way down to the ground. I mean, all the way down to the dirt, to the underbed, or to the not the bedrock, but
the basement.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they completely gutted everything. I think they ripped it all out.
I think that, I wonder. I mean, it's one of those things you just got to go. You wish go back in time. It was like, what are you going back in time for? I want to find out if they got rid of everything of the murder castle because they were scared that there were still ghosts there and everything like that.
Yeah, because I read somewhere that I think maybe. I think that maybe it did, because they said that the building survived the fire and it was in use until it was demolished in '38. So I think that to an extent, yeah, I think that there may have been some hauntings in there. There were some some reports of ghosts, or at least noises and strange occurrences. But I think that that's maybe partly why it was torn down in '38. Is you get a lot of these people that are like, yeah, no, no.
We burn it to the ground, salt the ashes.
Yeah.
And
we will get every herbalist out there burning clumps of sage.
Yeah. We had like 3-piece show up. Yeah, we even had a Satan worshiper see if he can undo it. But yeah, Benjamin Pretzel was okay. Yeah, that was another thing about him is the fact that he was considered the first serial killer.
Yeah, as far as like America goes,
I think so because I don't know. No, Jack the Ripper was.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper was more of the Victorian, steampunk, industrial era of England, London specifically. But Jack the Ripper, from what I understand, he kind of favored the prostitutes.
Yeah. He was in 1888 to 1891. That was the time frame. So yeah, that was England's serial killer. But H.H. Holmes is considered he's considered the first identified serial killer that you can actually identify. I mean, there's probably a lot of because they even considered like Billy the Kid as a serial killer too.
No, and I think
there's some people actually believe that Billy the Kid was like a serial killer or something like that.
I'm not buying that, and I think Billy the Kid, he was a bank robber. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he was a petty thief because it's not like he was snatching women's purses and shit, but
yeah.
But he was just a bank robber. And do I think that he got killed? No. I think he died an old man.
So you're in Young Guns 2 and not in Young Guns 1.
Right. You know,
Okay.
I mean, literally, I do think that I think he survived. I mean, I think he went on to be an old man because you remember that show Unsolved Mysteries, the original with Robert Stack.
Yeah.
Um,
The one that the beginning still gives me the creepies.
mm-hmm. Yep. You know, Robert Stack in the trench coat walking out of a foggy
He
alleyway.
was made for that
Oh,
role.
that was amazing. Yeah. You remember? Okay, so the parody that he did of himself in basketball, he's like, we have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then he gets slapped.
That was
No,
hilarious.
but there was an episode where it talked about Billy the Kid, and he had resurfaced, and the governor of New Mexico laughed at him. Laughed him. Just played it off. He was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, because he wanted a
He wanted a pardon.
pardon.
Which, I mean, hell, I'd have given it to him, and it's not because he was some kind of folk hero. I mean, it's just like, dude, the dude's an old man. What the hell are you gonna do? I mean, these murders, a lot. I mean, the shootings that he committed, they were before the turn of the century, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know, and he went on and spent the better part of his life minding his own business, and he stayed to himself. He didn't commit any crimes.
Yeah.
I mean, he quite literally was your kind old man. He was just your old timer. So I mean, I would have given him the pardon. It there had to have been when he came around. I think it was in the 50s when he died, Billy the Kid. I know we're getting off topic here, but
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have DNA testing or anything like that. But no, what was it? Garrett got credited with shooting Billy the Kid and bringing his body to justice or anything like that, something like that. But no, I mean, honestly, I think that Billy the Kid survived the encounter with Garrett and went on to die an old man. So
Pratt Garrett.
yeah, Pat Garrett. So I don't know, but getting back to Holmes here, I mean, this guy was legit. So I mean, if we're going to consider him America's first serial killer, that really set the bar high.
Yeah, there. I mean, even the ones back in the '70s that we found out, like a whole lot of them and everything like
Yeah.
that. I mean, they did some really sick and twisted stuff and everything like that. But this guy was matistic.
Yeah.
I mean, he. I mean, he had a freaking castle.
Yeah, and that
I mean, he
designed,
knew he was
built.
doing it himself and everything, and he was just it's one of those things. You're just like, man, I'm gonna have to kill you, but I admire your tenacity, what you did here.
Yeah, even at the let's see here, at the time of his hanging, what was it? I saw it just a second ago. Let's see here. Hold on. Up until the moment of his death, Holmes remained calm and amiable, showing very few signs of fear, anxiety, or depression. Despite this, he asked for his coffin to be contained in cement and buried 10 feet deep, because he was concerned grave robbers would steal his body and use it for dissection. And let's see here. His neck did not snap, as we discussed earlier. He insisted. See, I love the fact that my MLB account's tied to both of my devices because I'm getting updates on the game.
One of these times you're gonna start talking and everything. I was like, what the hell happened?
No.
I'm just gonna
See,
be so
I'm.
confused.
They're playing the Twins today, and Hunter Renfroe just hit a home run. So I mean, they cut the lead down to 2-1. So it's whatever. It's why we play 9 innings, except for tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be a scheduled doubleheader, and one of these new rules for speeding up the game, on days where headers are scheduled, they play 7-inning games, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, ugh. Okay. Anyways, back on subject here. His neck did not snap. He instead strangled to death slowly, twitching for over 15 minutes before being pronounced dead. 20 minutes after the trap had been sprung. So I mean, they waited for him to go limp for 5 minutes before they decided to call it.
Yeah, they basically did my thing. If you ever come across someone that's purely evil, aim for the head and make sure they're dead.
Yeah, and this is where we get into the whole cruel and unusual treatment provision that we have in the Constitution. But to me, the punishment should totally fit the crimes. I mean, if like with Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber, which we're about to celebrate that, the anniversary of that. Well, we're about to observe the anniversary of that. We're not celebrating shit, but in fact, I think that's on the 14th or 15th. That's tomorrow, or it's this week. It might be the 17th, which is this Saturday. I think it is. Anyway, so like with Timothy McVeigh, instead of giving him the needle or the gas chamber, I forget which one he had, but I think we should put him through what his victims went through. Put him on the top floor.
It'll be next Monday.
Yeah, so instead of putting him on the top floor, like on the roof, put him inside of a building that's about to be demolished. Put him on the top floor, right? And then put a timer in front of him, but put the timer deliberately 10 seconds faster than the charges.
Ooh.
So that way he counts down to 0, and he sees the zeros, and the building doesn't explode. The charges don't go off. He thinks he's safe for a second. Then he starts hearing the charges go off, and he has to ride that all the way down. And they rig the charges to the point where the roof sandwiches the top floor, so he gets crushed as he hits the ground. To me, that would have been that would have been poetically justified. But we have laws in this country for a reason, and the Constitution was written and framed the way that it was written for that particular purpose. Because if we were to do things like that, it wouldn't make us no better than the perpetrator of those crimes.
Yeah, you can't kill a person by stoning anymore.
Yeah, right. So, we're not. That's a Sharia law thing. So, but with him, they hung him, and he like literally they
wait until his last.
Yeah,
breath.
you will hang by the neck until dead. So yes, they did that. They carried that out to the T. I just think that he was just being a pain in the ass and just being tenacious. Now the fact that his neck didn't snap kind of lends to the theory, or I kind of wonder, did the hangman purposely position the noose to where it would do it? Because if you look at all of the pictures of the traditional hangings that we've had in this country, judicial hangings, the loops, the noose was directly behind the skull, so that way it jerked that head forward and it helped separate those vertebrae. I wonder if they didn't have the noose hanging off to the side.
That would explain a lot, yeah.
So, but obviously we're not going to find any of those photos.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're there, but I don't want to go digging for it. It's kind of a non-starter point here, but he was really ingenuitive, and I think that, again, not to lend credence to it, not to give him any more props than he, he's not doing any props at all, other than the fact that he went above and beyond and demonstrated a level of lethality that we had never experienced it before in this country.
And well, I can't say we haven't seen it since, because there's a lot of people that have actually killed, mass killing, genocide, and everything like that.
Yeah, but
just
on this scale.
Yeah, one person show. It's just
yeah, for one person show. Because when you're talking about people that commit genocide, like the Pol Pots, the Stalins, the Hitlers, they've got a supporting cast, and they're just portrayed as the mastermind because why? They're the ones calling the shots, but. Or at least they're the ones that have the idea sold to them, and then they think, oh, well, this would be great, and for whatever reason in their head, they decide that we're going to spearhead this. But as far as a one-person show, like you just said, Holmes really set the bar at a very high level.
I mean, if you read this stuff and everything, they are they get a hair in their butt and make sure that he's still dead.
Yeah.
I mean, even though at this time frame, he is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm smiling because I got another game update. We talked. Yeah. So, but it's not like they're not going to watch this video. They're not going to watch this podcast and on Saturday when you upload it, and they're not going to be like, this fucker over here smiling. He thinks this shit's fucking cool. No, dicks. I'm getting updates from the Red Sox game.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But God,
What the hell?
priorities, right?
Yeah. Poetry. Okay, this is weird because I got to the bottom part of all the like what happened in 2017. In 2018, a horror writer, Sarah Tenger, published The Devil's Dreamland poetry inspired by H. Holmes, Strangle House Books, which won the 2018 Bram Stoker Award for Best Poetry Collection. Wow. Mm-hmm. And it also said that there's going to be a movie as of 2019, an adaptation.
Adaptation.
There we go.
Use your words.
Big words.
Uh-huh.
The Devil in the White City with Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio attached as executive producers.
Once Hulu agreed to a partnership with Paramount. Yeah, I see it right here, yeah.
Yeah.
With it as a series with no confirmation as to whether Scorsese and DiCaprio would actually direct it and star respectively, says a 2021 production is yet to commence. See,
Yeah, it's all that whole...
that's like, okay, so just to kind of to show you that I'm capable of throwing a nerd reference in there. That's like with these constant rumors coming out of Paramount Studios about the fourth Star Trek film.
Yeah, because who was it?
Anton Yelchin, when he died and everything, was like, oh, we're going to shelve this for a bit. And then when Chris Pine did Wonder Woman and Chris Hemsworth did the Marvel movies, I think there's something in the Screen Actors Guild, union agreement that once your movies make over a certain amount of money, you're considered A-list or A-plus list actors. And then contractually, your minimum is XYZ. And Paramount didn't want to pay that, so it was like a salary dispute or something like that. I read something earlier this week that there's going to be a fourth J.J. Abrams movie, and just whether or not it's going to be in the same timeline is something completely different.
God, what's his name? Pulp Fiction.
Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, he was set to...
I am so torn on that. I want to see a Tarantino-style Star Trek film. I don't want it to be canon. Or if it's going to be canon, don't involve the Enterprise crew.
Yeah, because from what they were saying, it was supposed to be like rated R. But on the Screen Actor Guild stuff, no, it's not.
We have gotten so off track here.
We do that. We do that. That's why I love doing these things, because you can get off base. It's like, weren't they supposed to be talking about serial killers? What is it?
Now they're talking about Star Trek. Like, oh shit, yeah.
But no. What's really strange about that is it's just in the contracts and everything like that. If they want to get paid more, they can get paid more. If they don't want to get paid more, they don't have to get paid more.
Yeah, I always understood it was like a minimum thing. Once you hit A plus listing,
you're
status.
Allowed to ask that.
Yeah.
But I was like, Brad Pitt should have made like $25 million for Deadpool 2, and he was only in there for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Probably not even that. Probably even a second and a half. And all he got.
Well, you saw his face for like literally like half a second, or like a second and a half, but.
Or Matt Damon and Alec Tulik.
Yeah, or no, Alan Tudyk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk is from Dallas, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll always be Wash. I don't care. I don't care. He is the leaf on the wind.
Actually, no. He'll be that redheaded from Knight's Tale.
Yeah, I get that, and I'm on board with that. But for me, he's always going to be Wash.
He's from Knight's Tale. That was his first pick, bro. And he really played that role really good.
He did. But I'm a brown coat, so just deal with it. All right.
One of these episodes we're just have a nerd fight. But
Shame on you because you have a Firefly T-shirt.
Yeah. You
Mm-hmm.
can't really say anything.
Yeah, so there. Stop.
I just like to have the argument with a lot of people argue because he is so versatile.
He was
on
the
his
pirate.
role.
He was the pirate in Dodgeball.
Yeah, he was the pirate in Dodgeball. He was the
He does a lot of voice acting too.
yeah, he was the android, the droid in well, he was the robot in iRobot. He was the droid in Rogue One, and I mean his voiceovers. He was the chicken in Moana.
Yeah, he was the chicken in Moana. Yeah, he was.
Didn't even say anything.
Pepe, Yep. Yeah, he was Pepe. Yeah. But
yeah, it's so strange. He has so many roles and everything. A lot of them you don't even hear about. I was like, a lot of people haven't heard the. I think it's Con Man. He did like a kind of a spoof type deal for like 2 seasons about actors that are in the they go to Comic-Con conventions and everything like that.
yeah, I mean, God, we have really jumped off the tracks here. Maybe Alan Tudyk should be not. He should take on the role of H.H. Holmes. Yeah, so let's use that as a segue.
Yeah, there we go.
But oh God, nerds, sports. Yeah, it's great.
We can't keep on talking because we have so much interest and everything like that.
God, yeah. I mean, bottom line, this guy set the bar. I mean,
Yeah,
he
did.
he was ingenuitive. He was innovative. I mean, the guy was obviously very, very intelligent, just like a lot of our other serial murderers are, with the exception of Eileen, because let's just face it, no, she was just Florida woman. That's all she was.
Yeah.
Now, but I mean, he was very particular. I mean, he was very charming, obviously, very convincing. I mean, con artist.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, he knew how to build because he built the murder castle. He was very crafty. I mean, he had over 50 insurance companies wanting to prosecute him at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, yeah, it was just something stupid like horse theft that got him arrested.
Yeah. Of course, that happens a lot with serial killers. I mean,
yeah, I mean, because they're like, I've done this. There's no way I can get caught doing this, and that's what they get tripped up on.
well, which one would we talk about that he had like a broken taillight or something like that, and he got, was it I think it was Rodney.
Yeah, I think so too. Like Timothy McVeigh, he got pulled over for having a busted taillight.
Ted Bundy too.
Yeah, Ted Bundy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's so strange that it's the most. They get away with the murder and everything like that, and then it's something stupid like tax evasion, like for
Al Capone.
Al Capone.
Yeah.
It's just something just like doesn't fit anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
You just kind of want to go.
Well, it was that one thing that Andy Smith said that after his buds, that person and his wife went out on killed the chick, and what got them caught was they left the bloodstain trying to pick up a T-shirt from Hooters.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why. You said bloodstain. For whatever reason, that scene from Pulp Fiction popped up into my head.
Which one?
Sam Jackson and John Travolta are sitting there talking. Yeah, and he's like, look, pow, and he's like, motherfucker. He's like, I got it in my mouth.
All right, I think we can close it out on
He's
this
like,
one.
no, you on fucking brain matter detail.
But I think we can close it on that one. Who's the guy that getting the T-shirt?
Mike Kurtz.
Yeah, Mike Kurtz. He's got your T-shirt. If you watch it and everything like that, You got
Right
your
here.
free T-shirt right here.
And for those of you who would like one of these shirts, it's a Fuck Socialism. It's got
Chase Navarro.
Chase. It's got his face on there, don't get me wrong. It's got his face on this T-shirt. I mean, it's a pretty nice T-shirt. He's going to put a link in the bio on our channel for Ingram Meat Productions. You got a shop set up on there yet?
Website.
Website, yeah. Okay, so there's a link to the website. The shirts are $25 a piece.
Yeah, and a lot of people they it's like, well, that's too expensive. It's like one, the whole cost of it. If you go through the website and everything like that, you might be able to talk me down if you're first person and everything like that. I might take like $5 off if you sell it. If I sell it to you cash wise, and I go take it to you.
And for those of you who follow the Facebook page, I mean, Amari King will even wear a shirt. Wore this particular, not this particular shirt, but a shirt from us on one of his.
It was his shirt.
Yeah, this shirt. Yeah, it was this shirt on his what was it, Facebook Live or
no,
Instagram?
It's Instagram. He's
yeah,
still
it's
banned on
Instagram.
Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Book of Faces.
Yeah. But
had
yeah,
banned him still. So I mean, yeah, Amari King wore this shirt and
he loves it.
Hey, loves it. But yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I talked to him recently. He was like, "Man, I get so many good comments, people liking that shirt and everything."
Yeah,
when I'm running around town.
You know, I mean, we'll come out with more merch, ideas and things like that. We just, we need to get rid of these shirts in order so we can, bring more.
Yeah, and I'm going to be in, by chance, if you go to the Total Archery Challenge, I'll be selling these shirts handing over.
That's in San
But
Antonio.
the $25 is...
Or is that Austin?
San Antonio.
San Antonio, yeah.
But we're selling the shirts at $25 because, one, it covers the cost and a little bit of a profit, so we can start putting more money into the production value and everything like that. And if I have to send a delivery, you don't have to worry about paying mail-in costs and everything. It's included in that, so it's free shipping. That's the reason why $25 base rate.
Yeah.
So we can cover all of our bases. If I jump up the price on it, it's only because shipping got a little bit more expensive.
Yeah. So I mean, and if you order multiple shirts, I mean, obviously, we're still talking. I mean, we could probably work out like a bulk thing, like if you buy 5 or 6, 3 or 4 shirts,
Yeah, I'll jump prices as long as it doesn't get down past 15. 15's my limit.
Yeah. So I mean, if we did like 4 for $80,
yeah,
but yeah, definitely check out the website. If you haven't given us a follow or a like yet, definitely do that. Hit the smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
And just definitely get engaged with us. Give us your feedback on it, and if you have any ideas as to who you'd like to see us feature next on this particular series, definitely drop it in the comment section.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing like a big name, like a mass murderer or something like that. I forgot who it was. Oh no, the Nazi doctor.
Mm-hmm. That Josef.
I'm gonna butcher the hell out of
Crap.
his name.
Hold on. Josef Mengele. Yeah, Josef Mengele.
Yeah, we'll do him next.
I'm try to do my best, German.
Yeah. We'll do him next. This episode's probably going to be on Friday, so I'm going to be at the Total Archery Challenge. If you see me up there, give me a wave, I'm hoping to get a hold of Evan and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely talk to him about, sponsoring the podcast.
I'm mainly wondering if he has the shirt or not. Because I gave him one too.
Yeah.
But we'll catch you later, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.